Hey geeks, this is your weekly comic book roundup with me. This is the Officially Unofficial Geek Channel. I'm Carrie Quinn, and I'm doing this a little bit later than I did last week. So we're gonna just kind of go straight for the kill, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think of all these comics that I read this week, and I'm gonna talk about all the ones that I read. So, to give you kind of a lowdown here, we're going to tell all this in a very kind of spoilerific way. So, I'm going to still try to keep it light with the spoilers, but there's going to be some spoilers, some involved. And I think, especially doing it so late in the week, it's not that big of a deal. I think that, most people that have gotten their comics by now, but, are kind of looking to see what other people think of them. So, this is where we are right now. So here we go. This is the comics of the week of May 3rd. Yes, May 3rd. So let's get it started. All right. All right. So the first one I'm gonna talk to you guys about here is the Sensational Wonder Woman 3. And here we go with the cover. I picked the variant cover on this one, just because I liked it. Oh well. It is pretty nice. I like it. It's very. I don't know how to call it, what to call it, but I like the look of it. I thought it was really pretty. That was basically why I picked it and picked the way I did. Um, so this has two tails in it. And I actually really like this a lot. In the first tale, basically you have these people sitting there on the beach doing like a little fashion thing, and you have a PR type person, trying to guide everyone into doing what they want them to do and that kind of thing. And so I had to turn my phone down. Don't want my ringer going off in the middle of this. Okay. um, so Wonder Woman shows up because, well, it's Wonder Woman's story, and it'd be kind of a bummer if Wonder Woman didn't show up in Wonder Woman's story. um, so I really love it. So Wonder Woman shows up, and the question is right now, is Wonder Woman going to show up by land or by sea? And the answer to that question is Wonder Woman's going to show up by sea. So I really love how Wonder Woman shows up by sea, and she has these escort sharks that are just kind of showing up with her, and I love how Wonder Woman has escort sharks and is just showing up to a beach with them, like she's not going to cause a commotion. Like, it's okay, everybody. I just have a bunch of really big mastodon like sharks coming with me to a crowded beach where people are trying to swim in the ocean, and it's okay because they won't kill you. Well, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny that it was just like, it's okay, everybody. I'm Wonder Woman, and these are my pets. Um, um, so basically, Wonder Woman shows up, and this woman, it's told kind of through her perspective of things, and she's sitting there and she's making all these comments about different things and different ways that she can um, capitalize on Wonder Woman, because it's capitalistic society that we have here, and she's like, I could do these kind of boots. I can do Wonder Woman activewear and all that, and it's kind of funny. It's like you're sitting there like, okay, so she's like, she's basically trying to do her job, and Wonder Woman goes off and she goes to save a building of people, and the buildings collapse and everything like that. So the woman like rushes off, and she um ends up getting there, and she's really rude, and Wonder Woman is definitely not having it until Wonder Woman finds out that there are societies that are capitalizing on her image and her likeness. that are using child labor. That's where she draws the line. She's really annoyed up to that point, and trying to be very gracious, but also annoyed up until that point. And then she's like, you know what? I will take your card, but I have to go because there's another thing going on. But Wonder Woman has to go and save people. So that was the end of that story. That was pretty good. I like that it was kind of silly. I like that Wonder Woman just thinks she's not going to cause a commotion, showing up by water to a beach with a bunch of sharks. Um, so the second tale in that comic, it's a museum gala, and Diana has been invited to the museum gala by Bruce Wayne, and so obviously because it couldn't just be a story about Diana going out to a museum gala. We have Victor Freeze. We have Mr. Freeze showing up, and he's terrorizing everyone, and he kind of divides the museum. And on one side, Diana's on one side, and then there's everybody else on the other side. And I gotta say, I really love the DIY Amazon gear. She basically takes like some gear from Roman Soldier, and then all of a sudden she's in Wonder Woman gear, and it's kind of funny. But I do wonder if she returned what she used back to the museum, or like was it real or was it a reproduction? I'm assuming it's probably a reproduction. That you have to wonder, like, hmm, what is the museum probably thinking at this point in the story, if it continues. You know, the thing is it just tells us, that there ain't no party like a Gotham party, because a Gotham party doesn't end until Mr. Freeze shows up late with the ice sculptures. So yeah, but I enjoyed Sensational Wonder Woman 3. What's really good about these comics is you can really just jump in wherever. So if you haven't read 1 and 2, you can legit just go and buy Wonder Woman 3, and you're not missing anything because it's just standalone tales, and they're really kind of cool. And in some places they're kind of cheesy, but nice. So that's Sensational Wonder Woman number 3. It's an interesting and pretty low key kind of read, but nice. It's really nice. I did enjoy it. So the next one that I'm going to talk about, I'm also kind of gonna look at my notes involving this one because I did have a bit to say about it. Okay, so we have the second of 4 installments of the next Batman, Second Son. This is basically supposed to be the telling of the telling of talking about who's going to end up being the future state next Batman, which is Jace Fox, also known as AKA Tim Fox, but he wants to be known as Jace, so Jace Fox. Here we go. So here's the deal. Jace Fox is the son of Lucius Fox, and this is part 2 of it, and I have read part 1. If you are expecting there to be some major Batman, like next Batman action, you're going to be kind of disappointed on this one. If you're going into it just wanting to know like a little bit of the origin story of this future state Batman that we saw in Future State, then you won't be disappointed. So the thing is Jace Fox is the brother of Batwing, being Luke Fox. And can I just say that here we get to see exactly how bratty Luke is. Um, he's he's a dick sometimes. Oh my god. Has he normally been a dick like this? Because, like, oh my god. So, like, it's not like Jace wanted to come home. Okay, so like if you read the first issue of the next Batman Second Son, you know Jace was off doing his mercenary detective stuff in a whole other country and was not interested in coming home at all. Um, but Grifter came and kind of pulled him back because his dad asked him to. Because he had to do some kind of deposition in regards to something that hasn't been revealed in the comic, what he did or what it's involving if he didn't do anything. They're alluding to the fact that he did something or he was a part of something that he has to give this deposition involving, but they haven't actually said exactly what yet. And so anything other than saying that we don't know yet, anything else would be speculation at this point, unless it's something that's come up in another comic that I haven't read. So if I'm wrong on that and it's come up on another comic that I haven't read, please let me know. But as of right now, when they usually do something like that, when they bring up something from another series or what have you, like they end up doing at a point in this comic, in this issue, they usually put like a little note at some point in the page and kind of directs you to it so that you can be like, oh, that happened. And that happened at that time. And I didn't know about that. But they haven't done anything like that that I've noticed involving the whole Jace has to do a deposition part of the storyline. So that's still coming, I imagine. So the end of the last issue, the first issue, his sister is in the hospital because she had a relapse that they believe is involving some poison that she was given in a Batwing story by Ratcatcher. Now that actually is the bit that there was like that little note stating that happened in this issue of Batwing. She got poisoned by Ratcatcher. Okay, so that is something that they did put that little um plot helper so you did know that that was something that was a previous plot development in her story. And so, I really appreciate that. I appreciate that they've done that. I've seen that in the first Infinite Frontier Catwoman issue. There was a couple items, here and there, and like the story that was like, if you want to know more about this, check out this Catwoman issue. If you want to know more about this, check out this one. This one actually just was like, look, she was poisoned by someone in this other issue, this other comic. So you get this, so like the sister and Lucius Fox's daughter is lying in a hospital bed in this vegetative state. So Luke blames Jace for some reason. The mom blames masks. So basically, anyone like wearing a mask. So like Batman, she blames Batman. Um, and Jace decides he's going to go to work. So that's right. Ever the epic multitasker, Jace has decided not to let a little thing like a deposition and his sister being in a vegetative state in a hospital keep him from working. So the same goddamn thing can be said about the rest of his family. Okay, so I mean, I'm talking mostly about Jace here because Jace is, well, the main subject of the book. I mean, he's the next Batman. He is the second son. But so you see him doing some detective work. He's doing some spying and that kind of thing. He's reporting back to someone. Then a social media gossip columnist messes with his sister's hotel room, and so Jace hunts them down. And he basically also gets his father to give him a job, doing work for him that kind of aids him in both of his pursuits. Um, and there's some other Batwing stuff, but let me tell you, I'm annoyed with the whole like Batwing thing. I think that I think it stems from the fact that I am like legit annoyed with Luke Fox. Like he's a dick, okay? And so anything that has Batwing in this is just really like whatever, you know. Tell me more about Jace Fox being this, detective and mercenary thing. And here's the thing, like um I'm so over Luke Fox, and based on what I've read in the Grifter story, the two-part Grifter story in the Future State Dark Detective issues, he doesn't get much better. So I think I'm right for not liking Luke Fox, frankly. And no, no, no. And he really screws over Grifter. In Future State, poor Grifter. I actually really like Grifter. I would love Grifter stories. More Grifter. Thank you. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to tell you guys about from my comics, I'm like going up in my notes here. Green Lantern 2. Green Lantern 2. Pretty awesome cover with Joe there. So here's the deal. I got to give another shout out to Clyde's Comics here in Rockford, because I was totally set to just say screw it. I'm gonna save a couple bucks and I'm not gonna get Green Lantern 2, because I was definitely not into the story. I in the first one, and I know how I say I'm gonna give something a couple issues, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I'm not gonna get Green Lantern. And then he had to talk it up again for me. The master salesman had to talk it up again for me. And he sold me on Green Lantern 2. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was actually hard if it was actually difficult for him to sell me on it, but fine. If you want to talk Green Lantern, we're gonna talk Green Lantern right now, because woo-wee. I appreciate that he convinced me to do this, because you know what? I'm actually now into Green Lantern. Wow. Okay. So, John Stewart, the Green Lantern John Stewart, is actually kind of taking part. It's really funny because it's like the whole pandemic and everything like that kind of prepared me for thinking and like looking at this comic in a whole new way than I probably would have looked at previously. Because basically you have John Stewart heading up one very large Zoom office meeting of all the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's a big Zoom meeting of all the Green Lanterns. So, anywho, so you have him hitting up this Zoom office meeting of all the Green Lanterns, and they then attend the funeral for the Guardian that was killed in the last issue. Instead of getting shot out of a rocket, Timothy Leary style, he is added to the battery to become one with the Force, I guess. The Force Green Lantern style. The Force, become one with the Force Green Lantern style. And so his remains are basically added to the lantern, the big official lantern. Um, and then the Green Lantern Corps basically goes through a reorganization of sorts. And a lot of them have new assignments, including John Stewart, who whom is being sent where no one has gone before, with a shit ton of people under him in the Corps. Excuse me. And just as John was headed off, it looks like the Guardian's body is not agreeing with the battery, because basically it blew up and murdered a bunch of Green Lanterns. I told you, spoilers. And the reason why this is strange, well, one, it's pretty catastrophic. Okay, it's pretty catastrophic. Um, and that's exactly, you have Jo on the cover. It's really interesting. You have Jo on the cover, but she doesn't even show up until the end. But like, seriously, the artwork involving especially when this catastrophic overload, oh god, it's kind of like a nuclear reactor like blowing up kind of thing. No one's really sure. Like, everybody dies that's still on the planet. Now, my question is, and this is why I'm going ahead and I'm going for full spoiler view on this particular comic, is because I do have a question, and I do have a quandary. Did the Green Lanterns that left with John Stewart, did they get away? Did they make it and get away because in time, did they make it and get away in time? Because when Jo gets there, everybody else is dead except for the teenage Green Lantern trainee. I guess she's a trainee, an intern, whatever. And yeah, like, I'm just curious. I'm thinking that we're going to be told that later. I just want anyone else's perspective on this. If anybody has any perspective on whether John Stewart and the other Green Lanterns that were going with him made it off planet before the lantern blew up. Yeah, let me know. Comment or send me a message on our Facebook. Just let me know what your perspective is on this, because it's something that I was actually thinking about a little bit. It actually did get to me a little bit. Like, is everyone except for like this kid and Jo gone? Or there's some that did make it off planet before disaster struck. So, moving on, I am going to talk about Batman 108. And here we got the issue cover with Miracle Molly on it. Now, Miracle Molly is new. And she's pretty cool looking. Yeah. I really enjoyed this issue quite a bit. It was almost my issue favorite of the week, but it was not. There were two others that I liked just a little bit more. But this is pretty cool. This was pretty cool issue. Let me just find my notes here. So welcome to Miracle Molly. I loved, like I said, I loved the design of this character, and I loved basically what happens is she's giving a tour of the Unsanity to this person that has disguised themselves and has shown up and has the ability to not has the ability to resist like the telepath telepathic powers of some, and so he's able to go and Miracle Molly's like, yeah, I'll show him around. Okay, so she goes and she starts showing him around. Well, I love that this is Bruce Wayne. Okay, yeah, this is Bruce Wayne thinking, I'm gonna put on a mustache and pretend to not be me Real talk though, the artist doesn't make it obvious. They don't make it obvious that it's Bruce Wayne, but it's like, okay, well, who else could be trying to um, kind of like guard who they are going into a situation like that? But that's good. They didn't make it obvious, but Bruce is trying to understand, um, and I like that. I like that he's actually trying to be like, okay, what's really going on here? Let me figure out exactly what's going on here for good or bad, and you know, kind of let himself like understand where these people are coming from, and I do appreciate that. And in this, and honestly, like she could probably feed me the Kool-Aid, you know. She's kind of got me on a few things. And she's kind of describing, you know, how it makes her feel, the movement and everything like that, and how she feels about it. And she's kind of got me a little bit. She's almost got me drinking the Kool-Aid here, um and it's just a really nice story of her explaining, and she got that, like she's a smart cookie because she got that. One, she builds a lot of their tech, and two, she knew that that was that, not necessarily that that was Bruce. She didn't know it was Bruce, but she knew it, that this guy in this disguise had to be Batman, because most people, when she takes them on her like little hoverboard type thing, and they're standing over the city, high over the city, they react differently than this person had. And she's like, I had my suspicions, but when you didn't react the way a normal person reacted in that circumstance, I knew you were probably him. And so that's really cool part of the story. And there's another part of the story that ties in to Miracle Molly's story, and I won't give that away, but I will tell you that what's really interesting is we find out what's been happening with that surviving security guard of Arkham. Yeah, and basically what he's been doing since then, and what he is getting set to do in this issue. So that is definitely worth the price of admission, because especially if you were reading any of the Future State comics, you definitely know what's going on with that. So seriously, you know, you want to read this one, you should, especially if maybe you've been kind of, backing off of Batman. I don't know why. Um, there's some really good stuff coming out of these comics that are Batman centered. So check it out, because there's definitely things that are tying in to things that we saw in Future State. Not only in this one, but obviously also in the Second Son and everything like that. And it's all tying in. There's some, and you also have a little bit of Oracle in this issue, and she's kind of connecting some dots involving Scarecrow. And Batman's asking the right questions of Molly, and it's just basically the two major plot points in the Batman universe right now is the drug war, the drug world that's going on, and what is going on with Simon Saint. Simon Saint is been working trying to get the mayor on board with his program. And how are they connected? Like, are they connected? Are they somehow connected? We'll find out. Um, but it's a really good issue, and I really did enjoy it. And there's a second tale involving uh, there's a second tale, and I read it, and it wasn't all that great for me, but um, you know, uh, I read it so you don't have to. Um, so the next comic that we're going to talk about is Suicide Squad number 3. Okay, guys. So I'd like to say that I made a comment about how if you are reading Teen Titans Academy, you're going to want to be reading Suicide Squad. I made this comment with the last Teen Titans Academy issue. And I'd like to say that I was right. I love it when I get to be right about things like this, because I am definitely right, because here is the Suicide Squad and here is Bolt. Bolt, of course, is a speedster that is attending the Teen Titans Academy, and if you were reading Teen Titans Academy, you found out at the end of issue 2, that she is, I guess, for all intents and purposes, wanted by the Suicide Squad. Not wanted like they want to kill her, wanted in the matter of they would like her to join. Now, I guess, now I didn't read the Suicide Squad Future State comics, but apparently, kind of how I tied the Suicide Squad to the Teen Titans Academy issues going on right now. Apparently, if I had read the Future State Suicide Squad issues, which I have not, I probably will, we were supposed to see this coming. Which, I get that. We're supposed to see this coming because when you see any kind of photos of the Suicide Squad in Future State, the whole issue, not only just of who's in the Suicide Squad, but also the whole issue of what they're called and what they're doing, is getting ironed out definitely in this. And what you're finding is a lot of the stuff that's coming around in the comics now is stuff that's basically, now we're getting the preamble to what Future State was. And whether it's going to continue going on that road and becoming what happens in Future State, or if something last minute is going to catastrophically happen, or whatever to turn everything around, we'll have to wait and see. But I don't necessarily mind that idea, except for the fact that we've already seen Future State, technically. So basically, I get it. Suicide Squad, it was a really great issue, and I did love it. It was almost my pick of the week. Actually, my pick of the week was not DC, just to let you know. It was not DC. Shh. It was not. Anyways, Suicide Squad, number 3 was almost my pick. Not just because it proved me right, because honestly, technically, Future State proved me right. Anyways, so basically, like, it's really funny because, like, the Suicide Squad is basically like the Mean Girls Society of anti-heroes. Amanda Waller still sucks, but she always sucks. So Amanda Waller wants Connor to become the leader. Peacemaker wants to continue being the leader at all costs. At all costs, yes. Nocturna just wants to hang with her kitty. And I get that. I get you, Nocturna. I get you. Waller has decided that she wants a speedster and has done some deal where she thinks she can get Bolt because she got her out of Australia. So Bolt is currently at Teen Titans Academy, and if you've read, like I said, Teen Titans Academy 1 and 2, you have heard of Bolt before. And Bolt is currently, like I said, attending there. And at the end of Teen Titans Academy issue 2, you basically see the Suicide Squad trying to, take her. Yeah. So, um, yeah, they definitely coincide with each other. So Waller wants a speedster, and she thinks she has some deal that Bolt can't resist her. But still, she has to send the Suicide Squad out to nab her. Um, of course, when they go out for like a movie, the other Teen Titan Academy kids, along with Bolt, go out to see a movie and do some other stuff. But that's when they decide that they're going to do that. She basically takes a little freedom run before, like when everyone else is going back to the academy, and their bunks and everything. She takes a little freedom run, to kind of stretch her legs and that kind of thing. And she, um, you know, that's when they decide that they're going to try to kidnap her, basically. Um, so they fail. They fail because here's the deal. Nobody really knows why Connor, who is also Superboy, is being kept by Waller. Amanda Waller, um, in the first couple issues, you find out she has Connor, Superboy, being held with kryptonite handcuffs in a cell, and she wants him to lead the Suicide Squad. Well, here's the problem. The Suicide Squad is basically kind of going off book. In the past, the Suicide Squad has been criminals, people trying to pay off part of their debt to society by becoming a part of the Suicide Squad, to do these really dangerous missions. Okay, that's basically the premise of it. And if they don't do the missions, then they'll get blown up. Okay, so they have explosives planted in their brain, like around, like in their head, that they'll get blown up. But Connor is not a criminal. He hasn't done anything that should warrant him being a part of the Suicide Squad. So, and it's not just you and me readers questioning this. Other members are questioning it as well. They're trying to figure out why. He's not a criminal like us. Why is he here? Yeah. So that is something that Amanda Waller will not answer. She won't, because she's Amanda Waller. She sucks. Sucks so bad. So what we do find out is, the end of the issue, it basically was like, okay, so here we go. You want to see what happens next? Go to Teen Titans Academy 3. And so if you want to continue with Suicide Squad, you're going to have to know that they do coincide officially. Officially, they do coincide. It's not just me saying. It's not just me. But I was right. I was right. Anywho. Okay, so here's the moment we've kind of been waiting for. This is my pick of the week. The Invincible Red Sonja. Everybody, Red Sonja, my pick of the week. I don't know why I took so long to read any Red Sonja. It's been recommended to the mountaintops with me, and I hadn't read it. My boyfriend actually is a major Red Sonja fan. He's also a big Conan fan, and all that. So he's been one of the main ones. Has been trying to convince me to read Red Sonja. Um, I don't know what it is, but this is pretty badass. This was pretty cool. Um, yeah, this is really awesome. So this is the Invincible Red Sonja #1. Also, some of my favorite work involving Harley Quinn was done by Amanda Connor and Palamonti, the husband wife combo of those two. Let's see here. There is the writers Jimmy Palamonti and Amanda Connor. They were the writers on this, and they've done some of my favorite Harley Quinn stories. So obviously, I got this mostly because of them, and it was a #1, so it kind of got me into Red Sonja. And while I do agree with a few of the other reviews that I've seen so far, that this new Red Sonja presenting women, apart from Red Sonja as scantily clad and showy, I even though I agree with that, I'm no Karen about it. It really doesn't deter me from the enjoyment of this Red Sonja storyline. In fact, I really enjoyed it. Who doesn't love a badass woman that can take on a whole band of torch and pitchfork wielders, and then finding out that just days before she helped a number of sailors take on an enemy ship, and then all those sailors get seduced by sirens and she kicks their butt. She kicks the sirens' butt. I mean, she kicks the sirens' butt if the sirens had butts, but she kicked Finn? She kicked Finn. She kicked Finn. Huh. Okay, so she kicked Finn. She kicked butt. Like all the fucking sirens. And so she finds herself in the beginning of the story in the unwilling position of being this wizard and princess's defender. Hence why she's, fighting the pitchfork and torch squad. This issue is bloody and it's violent and fun. It really is. And Red Sonja has a wit. She has an outstanding wit and personality, and I definitely understand the long-term appeal for comic book readers. This will definitely be on my list of reads in the future. And, I really love that. It kind of gave us like this, view of like Red Sonja in current circumstance, and then it kind of went back in time and explained everything up to that point. So what I'm hoping is that when we get into the next issue, that it kind of like takes her from her current predicament and moves her forward, hopefully. And I definitely will be back for more on this one because it was really great. And I don't know why I waited so long to read Red Sonja. So that is my books of the week. I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope you really enjoyed your comics for the week. There's my comics for the week. I know there's quite a few coming out soon in the next week that will be fun. So please like and comment and subscribe, because subscriptions are great and it lets me know that you guys are listening. Comments also, let me know that you guys are listening. Let me know, what was your favorite comic this week? Were you into Suicide Squad and Red Sonja as much as I was? Or were you more into maybe the Green Lantern? That was a pretty good issue too. And, just tell me what you're reading. Maybe you're not reading anything that I'm reading and you think I should be reading it. So let me know. Let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, do all those things. Please visit us on our Facebook page. The address is down below in the description here. And keep reading comics. Keep on reading. Keep on supporting your local comic book shops. And I guess, just be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and support small businesses. And see you later. See you soon.